Hello and welcome back to the Contemplation Cafe. My name is Paul, your host, as always inviting you to come inside, pull up a chair, and have a think or two. Today we're going to do some insurance conversation, most importantly about the role of the agent. Now it used to be the agent was the end-all be-all in the world of insurance, and of course with the advent of the internet and things like that, that role seems to have changed a bit. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the role of the agent, what they do and how they do what they do. To start off with, we have two kinds of agents. We have independents, which means that they can write insurance for a number of companies. We also have what's called the captive agent. So the captive agent signs a agent contract with a particular insurance company and agrees to only market their brand of insurance plus whatever else they tell them that they can market. So that's a big difference. There's pros and cons to both, obviously, but those are the two kinds you have out there. And an agent is, way up here, someone who is authorized to transact the business of insurance on behalf of an insurance company. A lot of big words, kind of word, but that's what it is. That's what an agent is in the world of insurance. So whether they work in a call center environment or they have an office set up somewhere, it's that person who is licensed in a particular state and has been appointed by the insurance company, which means that this person has passed the licensing requirements to sell insurance in a given state, and the insurance company tells the state insurance regulators, hey, this person is authorized to conduct the business of insurance on our behalf. And that can vary from one state to another. Again, cardinal rule of insurance, it's all regulated by the state. What happens in one state doesn't necessarily apply in the other. So an agent really has three big roles. Number one is sales. Obviously, if they don't sell insurance, they don't eat because they don't get paid unless they sell insurance. Now, the agent is kind of in a bit of a pickle, right? So the agent is supposed to have the policyholder's best interest at heart. But the agent also needs to take care of the insurance company since they're that go-between person. So, for example, an agent shouldn't write a bunch of junk business. That's going to cost the insurance company a lot of money in claims and things like that. So the insurance agent does have to do a little bit of that work up front to make sure the business that they're going to write is quality business, that that's going to be something sustainable. Same thing with people who change insurance companies every week whenever they get paid. That's not always best for business. So the agent's got to be a little bit selective. But on the flip side, if something does go awry, the agent is also the advocate for the policyholder to the insurance company. Because in a matter of a claim or whatnot, the policyholders, we really as consumers, we don't know all the ins and the outs, but the agent does, and the agent has contacts with underwriting or with claims, and they kind of act as a go-between between the policyholder and the insurance company in those kinds of matters. Also, the agent is what's called a first-line underwriter. So when you come to the insurance company to apply for insurance, it's their job to collect certain information from you, like name, address, phone number, date of birth, driver's license number, your make and model vehicle, that kind of stuff. So they can begin to formulate what it's going to cost for you to do business with them. And so, of course, the information they need to gather needs to be accurate and complete. And it's not the full shooting match, so that goes on behind the curtain with folks in underwriting, and we can talk about underwriting later on. But the agent does play a role as that first contact underwriter. So the agent, again, while motivated by sales, because if they don't sell, they don't eat, also needs to write quality business for the company, but also needs to provide products and services to people coming in the door. Because if they say no to everybody, again, there's no sales, there's no food on the table. So they have to work through all that. And also another function of the agent is the advisory education piece. So a good agent will educate their policyholders about coverages, how they work, and then maybe additional products. They cover these additional needs. For example, life insurance. It's always a good one. So an agent will talk to someone. Let's say they just had a baby. So that's a great time to talk about life insurance because, of course, the younger you are, the cheaper life insurance costs. Yeah, that's good. That's a win-win, right? Takes care of the baby and takes care of the checkbook at the same time. Insurance, way back up here, is a piece of your overall wealth management strategy. Now, I get it. If you're making minimum wage and you don't have anything but two nickels to rub together, that kind of bounces off the forehead. But if over time, as you grow in a career, you get an education, now you're accumulating things, you got a house, you got a car, maybe two cars, maybe a second house, house in the Hamptons, whatever, a boat, all those kinds of things. Now you've accumulated wealth. Now you've got more to be aware of, and insurance plays a piece of your overall wealth management strategy. So as you grow, that agent's role is to talk about those things, look at those different needs and exposures that you have, and come up with insurance products that may meet those needs. And of course, as the consumer, we need to balance that coverages to cover needs plus the checkbook, because obviously we can't just close our eyes and hand over our entire paycheck to the insurance company to buy every insurance product they have. That's not going to work, because then we don't get to eat. The insurance agent does a great job and he has a great vacation at our expense, but then we're out in the street going, I can't eat because I gave all money to the insurance company. The other part of an agent is claims. So there are many times, especially in some of the more seasoned consumers, they have a very personal and strong relationship with their agent. And for some companies, you've got agents who have been doing this business for 20, 30, 40 years. So they have a great relationship with their insureds, and they don't want to call the insurance company, they want to call the agent. And so when the unexpected and unplanned happen, they pick up the phone and call the agent. There may be in some cases where they have the agent's personal phone number, and he's like, hey, call me day or night, it doesn't matter. I've had those situations over my career in insurance where an insured will call and they've had a loss, and it could be 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, and it's a phone call to the agent, and the agent was always, hey, give me the information, what's going on, whatever, tell them I'm on the way. I'll get it handled. And boom, I mean, that's just what they did. They would just jump into action, especially in those cases where you had a catastrophic loss, maybe your house burned down, or something happened where your house was not habitable. And of course, now you need a place to stay. You may have lost your clothes. This is where the agent comes in. They can provide that immediate claims assistance, those temporary living expenses or whatever else is necessary, help out with temporary repairs, to keep further damage from occurring until the claim process can formally get started. They certainly can help file claims on behalf of their policyholders. So that's also a role that they play. I know I said 3, but really just 4. Okay, there you go. So that's what they do. Now, obviously, just as in other occupations out there, you've got the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? You've got great agents that are out there. You've got agents who are just focused on sales. And then you've got agents that really just, probably shouldn't be agents. Now, in some cases, an agent may have a larger book of business, and a book of business just means number of policyholders. They may have a large business. They're very successful. They've done a good job doing what they do. They've got a great, well-trained staff. Now, these staff members, most of them are licensed, I'm sure. Some may not be, but typically the agent staff members are licensed if you're going into an office situation. And then you've got a well-trained office. So you may not talk to the agent, but you may talk to a staff person and still have a great relationship with the staff person. Now, that dynamic changes a bit when you're calling a company that really relies more on a call center setting. It doesn't really have a lot of storefront agents. There's some companies, there's an agent on every corner. And there's a few here or there, but most of their business is driven from a call center type or maybe the online experience. Makes it a little bit tougher. Now, I would still encourage you as an insurance consumer, however you choose to purchase your insurance, be sure that when you're in the process of looking for insurance, have the conversation with whomever is licensed that's going to perform this transaction for you. Ask the tough questions. Make them answer them for you in a way that you understand. Don't let them do the insurance speak. It's really easy to talk about loss on new business and partial premium, and we don't care about that as consumers. It's like, hey, look, we have obviously a legal need with auto insurance. We have a tag on our car. We got to have insurance. We finance the vehicle. We need to have insurance on the vehicle to make the people that lent us the money happy in case something bad happens to the vehicle. So we don't care about some of that jargon. We just want to know, hey, if blah, blah, blah happens, you're going to take care of me. What do I need to take care of this and this and this? And ask the hard questions and make them answer. And if they won't answer your questions or they can't answer them, then you need to go find somebody else. And the question you're going to ask next is, well, what if I got an agent that's really cruddy? Can I change my agent? Sure you can. You have the checkbook. That makes you the boss. You've hired them to provide an insurance service for you. They're not the other way around. You're not working for them. They work for you. So just like an employer-employee relationship, your check is a vote of confidence. And every time you stroke that check out to the insurance agency, that's a vote of confidence that you appreciate what they do and you're glad you've got them there. So if you've got a cruddy agent, by all means, you're welcome to fire them and go get somebody else. Now, one caveat, many states have these financial responsibility laws in place, and they vary from one state to the other. So what you don't want to do is call your agent, blast them out, and say, you're fired. And then 4 days later, shop for some other insurance. Now, you're probably going to have a what's called a gap in coverage, because after you blast out your agent, you tell him you're fired, he's going to go, okay, you're canceled. And now you've got no insurance. And in some states, they're very aggressive when there's a gap in insurance coverage. You can get your license suspended. There's monetary fines depending where you're at. So don't do that. What you need to do is find the new insurance provider first, purchase coverage with them. Once you know that you're covered with them, then your next phone call can be to your soon-to-be former insurance company or your former insurance agent, and then you can tell them, I'm leaving you for someone else. Goodbye. And you're done. I know it's a little bit oversimplistic. Obviously, you've got your policy terms and conditions for cancellation, but just up here, that's how that works. So if you do fall out of love with your current insurance company or your insurance agent, because some people love the company they have insurance with, but they don't care so much for the agent, make sure you're taken care of before you fire the other guy. So just a quick touch base on that for you consumers out there. And having been working in the insurance industry for 17 years, I've seen the good, bad, and the ugly on both sides. So that's in a nutshell is the role of the agent. So I definitely would recommend, however you purchase insurance, again, talk to those people, ask them the hard questions, ask them the questions you've always wanted to ask, and make them answer them to you in a way that you understand. That's the important part, because you're paying for, remember, this is a promise. You're paying for that promise, and you need the assurance that if the unplanned and unexpected happen, that when you want to make a phone call to make good on that promise, that the promise will be made good on, and that the things that the salesperson told you were gonna be true are gonna come through for you. Because again, like we talked about earlier, you'd hate for them to tell you, hey, if you buy insurance today, you're gonna get a pair of Kiss concert tickets, and then you call back 2 weeks later, hey, where's my concert tickets? Oh, what concert tickets? Yeah, you don't want to do that. So have that conversation. Like I said, if they don't or won't talk to you about that stuff, shine it, go get somebody else. There's somebody out there who would love to service your business. With that being said, thanks again for calling. See, there you go. Thanks again for stopping by the Contemplation Cafe, and we'll see you next time.